Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, The Balanced Blue, joined by my fellow co-hosts, Scott the Gooner, Rob the Red Devil, but we're joined by an equally special guest, Miz from the other side of the coin, a fellow Blue, a disgruntled Blue, I must say. Let's go to you first, Miz. How you doing, my man?
Doing good, man. Really good to be here with you guys. It's been a while, so looking forward to a riveting conversation in regards to everything that's taken place over the weekend and obviously earlier on this morning. So yeah, can't wait, man.
Good man.
And I'm stoked
and
to
we've
have you
been
on.
buzzing for this, but speaking of buzzing,
Rob, that's your cue,
go
mate.
for it. Beautiful. Great to have you on.
I wouldn't say buzzing, but maybe stung, maybe be stung, maybe. But yeah, look, boys, always happy to be here, talk football. Obviously, I know what's coming, so we'll get it over and done with, and then talk all the other big games.
All right, and boys, of course, the pink making its debut, pretty in pink, pretty in the Premier League table, pretty football. It's just pretty time to be an Arsenal fan. But you know what? I just want to start. I want to fire a shot at you, Robbie, before we get into it, because I want to talk about what Miz does as well and his channel. But I remember the opening round of the last season. Brentford beat us 2-1. You came out, you had your little bumblebee poster you made, you were dancing around,
I was waiting for
it. You know what? And it really burnt me. So tonight, there's no mercy, mate. There will be no mercy. I was going to get all the kids in my class to colour in bumblebee posters and stick them up in the background. But you know what? You're lucky Miz is here because it's going to take a bit of heat off you. For those who haven't checked out Miz on the other side of the coin, another fellow Aussie content creator. But Miz pumps out some brilliant Chelsea stuff. All his information is down the bottom in the description. Check him out. If you want great Chelsea conversations, you want a good perspective, watch-alongs, you name it. It's there. Miz, just quickly tell people about the other side of the coin, and then we're going to talk about your team and Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't subscribed, the other side of the coin, lots of Chelsea stuff, but we are trying to diversify with other areas, watch-alongs for different teams, news for different teams as well, reactions on different teams. So yeah, subscribe, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys do this. The IFT pod. These guys are proper knowledgeable guys. And subscribe, like, and subscribe, please.
Let's kick it off. I'll just acknowledge some of the people in the chat. We got Tom from the United Pubcast basically saying, skip the Brentford chat. Tom, that ain't happening. The concierge is here. Nice to see you here, man. Ben's back. Ben, nice to see you, mate. It's been a while. FPL Rubber Ducky. We might talk about some FPL a little bit later. We got Daniel in the house. We got George in the house. He's using the puns already against Man United. We got Chris here. Good evening. Good evening to you. Declared. Chris Clement. And, of course, shooting shade at me. I'm used to it. They're in the mud, so he's going to look for anyone else to blame. Borche from the football capital. And, of course, my man Sammy. Boys, we've acknowledged everyone. 22 people here. Smash the likes. Miz, as the guest, we saw a riveting London derby. We saw Chelsea and Spurs kick the crap out of each other, basically. Your managers were at it. Your players were at it. It was an entertaining match for the neutral. But you talk to us about what your main takeaways were from that game as a Chelsea fan, Miz.
Main takeaway was how intense we looked, how energized we looked. This is coming from a team that didn't really have a preseason. It was a holiday. Like, we were just in the States having a holiday over there. Udinese game was the first proper, I suppose, let's try and get to work now after the spanking we got from Arsenal, probably much needed spanking as well. I kind of predicted that anyway. I said, I think we're going to get spanked by Arsenal.
You did.
And it kind of woke us up a little bit, but then against Everton, once again, the energy was down. Everton, for some reason, had more energy than us, which I didn't like one bit. Lacked creativity in that match. But as soon as Cucurella came on in that particular match, things really started to look a little bit different. So I'm not surprised that we played well against Spurs, because I also said that in my preview that I've got a sneaky suspicion that we actually might play well. And it all kind of gave me a little bit of a glimpse of it in the last 10 to 15 minutes of that Everton game when Cucurella came on and we made other substitutions like Broha and so on and so forth. I wanted and predicted Ruben Loftus-Cheek to play as a right wing-back, which is more as a right midfielder from a tactical point of view. And yeah, man, just the Spurs had nothing. So what I really took out of that game, one, we should have won. Spurs did not deserve a single point. They didn't even deserve those 2 goals, if I'm being absolutely honest. But the referee had other intentions. And look, I'm very proud, very, very proud of the team, how they performed. And if we continue playing in that manner, with that energy, with that tactical nous, then I see no reason why we should be worried about anyone in the league. They really should be worried about us, knowing we've probably got a few more signings to make. And I think it's just as important to get rid of players. In recent times, we got rid of Timo Werner. Obviously, Lukaku's gone as well. I think getting rid of players is also cleansing the team of players that sort of create a bad vibe within the group. It's very important to get rid of these players and bring in new players who are more interested to play for the football club. So okay, man, that's my takeaway.
Fair shout, and there are plenty of positives in there, but at the end of the day, you've also got to look at some of your rivals, some of the teams you're competing with. The league's a funny old place to be. RJ, are you all good vibes as well, or were there some things that maybe might have worried you from the result? Because Miz did say that, you guys did everything you should have done to win. But again, we've seen Spurs come away with something, and I agree. Chelsea were the better team for me. But you need to be able to hold those leads as well and hold those positions. What did you take from it, RJ?
Yeah, firstly, completely agree with what Miz is saying, the analysis. What I would say, to try to be a little bit balanced in line with what I try to be, Spurs started off brightly. The first 5 minutes, I thought the ebb and flow of the game was going to be a little bit different. They came, they pressed us a bit. Jorginho, for as great as a game as he did, turned over possession quite cheaply at the start. If Kulusevski played a better ball into Son, we were in big trouble then. It didn't happen. We got over the nervous start, but then we really kicked into gear. We were moving well between Cucurella, Mount, Jorginho and Koulibaly. That left-hand side was buzzing, and the right-hand side equally as damaging. So the only thing that disappointed me was that we really didn't put them to the sword. At 1-0, we could have scored another 2 goals at least. Mendy came up trumps for a good save against Sessegnon. Now, the 2 goals we conceded, they were ugly goals. Let's call it how it is. I wasn't as bad on the Havertz foul. It was a foul, but let's get past that for a second. The offside, he's directly in front of Mendy. There's still shots. He is directly in his line of sight. If that's a passive offside, then I've got a head full of hair, because that was terrible.
I disagree with that one.
It was a terrible
that one
decision.
I disagree with.
He was in front of him, Rob. He was looking to his left.
He was 12 yards in front of him, bro. He was on the penalty spot. He was offside
He's
on
still
the
in
penalty
front
spot.
of him.
12 yards.
And he had to move out of the way.
Well, I think it's poor keeping. I don't think Mendy's been at his best this season to begin with.
But if I'm in front of you, if I'm in front of you and I can't see which way you're going to shoot the ball, does that not put me at a disadvantage? Yes or no? If I can't see you as the ball, as the striker.
But if he was half a meter back, even if he was onside half a meter back, he was still sending in his way. 12 yards out on a penalty spot. I think he has plenty of space. I just think it was just unlucky with the blindside. I think that was 50-50. I don't think there was anything wrong with that first goal, in my opinion, as a neutral. And I enjoyed this game as a neutral. I thought it was a really hard-fought game, and I do agree. I think Chelsea were the better team. I think
you also are, I don't know, to be honest with you, yeah. Look, the second one, definitely a hair pull.
Definitely a hair pull. That should have been...
That we've had this issue before.
Yeah.
But we've had this issue before with people being in the passive offside position, that they have been called the other way, where they've stood in front of them and blocked them, and the distance wasn't the issue. So to me, these controversies keep affecting the outcome. But what disappointed me the most is that we didn't do enough to get past those controversies. And look, it is what it is at the end of the day. We played well. Like Miz said, the blueprint is there. It's a shame that Conte got injured because he was absolutely terrorising Spurs. But it gives chances for players like Conor Gallagher to step up. Loftus-Cheek, he played awesome in right wing back. You wouldn't see him every game there. But I was really impressed with what Koulibaly, what a strike, by the way, and Cucurella, Sterling. He was someone that was quite strong, great assist, but he should have done better with a couple of his chances. Him and Mount, they probably could have scored between them. At the end of the day, it was a fantastic performance. I know Marty made some comment before earlier about Reece James could have got a second yellow, but if I'm being disgruntled, Spurs could have got a lot of yellow cards in the first half. Kulusevski had the worst challenge in that first half against Mount. Nothing. Bentancur, 3 challenges, not one foul. One yellow. And the same with Sessegnon on Loftus-Cheek multiple times. So if anybody got leeway, it definitely wasn't Chelsea. So look, it is what it is.
RJ, I want to chuck this question to Miz as well, and of course to you. There's a question here from George. Is Mendy really an elite keeper, or was he just in the middle of a purple patch? George thinks the latter. I'm undecided on Mendy because I've seen him do some things and I thought this guy is world class. And then he's also had some shockers, and every keeper's going to have some shockers, but I just feel like we're not seeing the best Mendy at the moment. Miz, where do you sit with Mendy at the moment?
I personally think he is an elite stopper. I think he's a top-class stopper. This isn't just from the Premier League. If you look at some of his, footage from Liga, the reason why Peter Cech and Lolichon, our goalkeeper coach, they handpicked these guys because of his ability to shot stop and also command his box, comes out, collects in corners, free kicks, so on and so forth. But modern day football, especially with managers like Thomas Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, so on and so forth, Ten Hag as well. I'm sure we're going to talk about Ten Hag and David De Gea's situation. Modern day football, modern day goalkeepers, attack starts from the build-up, and the first person it starts from is your goalkeeper. And if your goalkeeper is not very comfortable with the ball, that nervousness kicks in and it could dismantle other facets of their game. So, for example, they could be elite shot stoppers, but they're constantly thinking, if the ball comes to my feet, I feel a bit nervous. And all of a sudden, their hands feel nervous, their mind feels nervous, everything else sort of kicks in and feels nervous. So I think what has happened to Mendy over the last season, especially last season, and we saw glimpses of it the season before that, which was his first season, is that whenever we pass the ball back to him, he's made some strange decisions. Either he's taken a bit too long to decide what he wants to do, or he's rushed it to something catastrophic, which then led to something crazy. So those issues have now culminated at times with his handling issues. That's what I feel, because this is from a human nature point of view, boys, something that you're really good at, but something you're very conscious that you're not good at, eventually that creeps into something that you're generally good at as well. So I think if he can overcome the situation, because it's not as if he can't distribute, it's not as if he can't play. Like, we've seen that, especially during that Champions League run where, his distribution from the back was fine. It's just sometimes it's the mental state. They're human beings. These are not machines. These are people. Maybe they just need to have someone sit down and say, hey, what's going on? Like, are you clear in your head? What is bothering you? What's going on? Is it personal? Is it within the game? Like, I'm sure he'll come around. I definitely think he's a great shot stopper. There was a couple of times in that match in itself against Spurs, first half, Son, I believe, it was that Jorginho mistake that RJ was talking about in the first 10 minutes. Son then went through and hit it with his left, and it was a great save from Mendy. I think there was a header as well just before the goal, the equaliser,
number 2. The Sessegnon one, the header, the goals themselves weren't his fault. There was the goal that was conceded was poor marking from a corner, despite the not foul. And then the one they conceded, the first one, call it what you want. Could he have got to it? It was a good hit by Højbjerg. Great finish right into the corner. But I don't really blame him because, hey, he can't see what's in front of him. So to me, his ball distribution is a bit of an issue. I agree. But I think he's getting a little bit better with that now.
In regards to that first goal as well, just quickly to touch on, I'm not one that is fighting for the fact that maybe it was an offside, maybe it's not. I'm more interested that was a clear foul. I remember when I was doing the watch along, it was a clear foul on Kai Havertz, and that's what I'm annoyed about. You disagree, Rob? You don't think that was a foul?
No, again, I think he'd got a touch on the ball, and again, a minuscule touch is a minuscule touch. I think it was enough. I think it was less than 50-50. If you got a touch on the ball, it's not a foul for me, and I think you could see that.
As in, he got a touch on the ball first before he cleaned him up?
Ball before player, play before ball, simultaneous. They were both running. I think it was enough. If he didn't get ball, he would have got a red for that nearly.
And the fact that he came from the back as well, from behind, and so scissor kicked him.
He didn't go through him, but he still kind of went around him to tackle him and touch the ball. I don't know. I thought it was okay. 50-50.
We're splitting hairs. We're splitting hairs here because I put a poll up today when I set up this stream saying, what was your highlight of the round? 56% of people have said the Thomas Tuchel and Conte madness. Absolute madness. Now, personally, I love a manager scrap. I used to love when Arsene Wenger would get into it. I love seeing Jose Mourinho do it. I love a good manager scrap. Shows plenty of passion, right? And we want passion on the sideline. So at that kind of level, sorry about the mic. At that kind of level, there's some people saying it's an issue. I have no problem seeing it. I think it's heat of the moment. It's emotion. It's passion, whatever. I don't think they need any further punishment other than what they've got. So to me, it's not an issue. But what were your thoughts on that? Because we haven't seen one like that in a long, long time. It got pretty heated. I want to kind of wrap Chelsea talk up with this and then move on to United next. So, Robbie, let's go to you, mate. What did you think? You got to tell me, were you Team Conte or Team Tuchel? And what did you think of the scrap in general?
Look, I don't think I can pick a team because that's just bias taking over. I'm a big Conte
fan.
It,
mate. These two are going to be biased.
He's a Conte man, mate.
I'm a Conte man, you know that, but it's got nothing to do. I personally love it. I love that passion from both. I love especially in a derby. That's what a derby is all about, mate. It's all about on the field, and you could see straight after in the presser when they came down. You know, the emotions obviously settled down again. Okay, let's not talk about that. What happened on the field stays on the pitch. It was a fiery situation. You know, one went up, the other one celebrated, the other one got the shits, the other one equalized. He got in his face. I personally love it. It's a bit of shithousery. It's a football thing for me. Play on. I don't think there should be any kind of fines or anything like that. Move on to the next match. And, you know, I think Tuchel even said in his presser, you guys love it, and we all do. So if someone has an issue with that, then, I don't know, mate, go watch another sport.
All right, RJ, we know what team you're on, but just quickly some thoughts on that. How good was it?
That's a man's game, as Graham Souness said. What a silly comment, by the way. But I know he clarified his point. But look, it's part of the theatre. We all love the Battle of the Bridge. We all love it. So I was just more, you know what it is? It shows that the people care about what's happening. I think that's the most important thing. Emotions get heated. Nothing over the line was crossed. That's the most important thing. No punches were thrown. It wasn't excessive. Yeah, exactly. It was theatrical at best. And look, I loved it. I personally loved it. I just want to say it was good afterwards how they sort of both came out and tried to diffuse it. Didn't try to make it a bigger than Ben-Hur thing. So, look, I'm all for it. And I can't wait for the return leg, hopefully with a competent ref and VAR official. Just saying.
All right, Miz, make sure you look me in the eye, mate. We're not going to have a little cyber scrap on here. But look, before I come to you, Thomas Tuchel saying it's because he didn't look him in the eye. Come on, man. Come on. You're just salty that you dropped points. You should have beat him at home. Was he just salty? It's not. If I shake your hand, you don't look me in the eye, man. I'm not going to scrap you. I like you too much, Miz.
I think we need to understand at that moment the situation was hot. Like, do you know what I mean? Thomas Tuchel wouldn't do that 2 hours post match. That was literally seconds after the match and the way it transpired and whatnot. I've got no issues with that. Thomas Tuchel grabbing his hand and saying, look me into my eye when I'm shaking your hand. I love that kind of attitude. Look, I've got a lot of respect for Antonio Conte, not just for what he's done with Chelsea Football Club, what he's done, Juventus, Inter Milan, like he's a top manager. So I love that. I love that attitude from Thomas Tuchel, something I didn't think he actually had. So that was a very interesting insight I got into Thomas Tuchel and where his mindset is with Chelsea Football Club this season. And honestly, my review post-match, I was so proud of the team. I was like, do you know what? I saw something which is gonna G up the team. And I love it, man. And I also love the fact that post-match interview, Thomas Tuchel was back to himself again, like, hey, I got no animosity towards Conte. It's all good, flexing and whatnot. And and he said it, keep everything in the game. Whatever happened in the game stays in the game. And as RJ said, and as you boys said, there was no punch-ups. There was no shirt, like collar tugging and whatnot.
We wanted there to be.
Yeah, it was proper passion in your face, how it needs to be. I think that's just human nature, isn't it? Like that's just how people would react in a high-octane game.
Boys, we are going to move on to the result that I was most buzzing about this weekend. Might sting Rob a little bit, but, you move on, you forgive and you forget. But before we do that, because being pun overload, I'm going to ask, because there's a lot of you in here, smash the like button for us. For our people that are on here who maybe haven't seen Miz's channel before, please go and check it out. Hit the sub button. It costs you nothing and only takes a second. And I suspect we've got a few fans from the other side of the coin who have tuned in tonight. Please support us by hitting that subscribe button as well so we can keep these great collabs coming. Robbie. 4-0. 4-0. It was dead. The game was dead before half an hour was done. The team looks devoid of confidence. The team doesn't look ready to play the tactical football that Erik ten Hag wants. He's not been backed. We're back to that narrative of it's all the Glazers' fault. Just give us there's so much going on at your club now. I'm going to try and be really mature. Just give us your thoughts in a nutshell on Glazers, the result, the squad, the gaffer. Where are you at?
All right, I'll start with Glazers because they're the ones I'm going to brush over quickly. And this one I'm not going to use them as an excuse. That's why I want to start with them, because every time we do have bad results like this, the first thing that people go to is it's the Glazers' fault. It's the Glazers' fault. And let's be real, they're the ones at the top. They're the rot of the fish, and they branch. Or the problems do branch down from them. But at the end of the day, losing 4-0 to Brentford away with Manchester United, it's shambolic. It's shambolic. And there's nothing you can say to defend them. Like, it's got nothing to do with the Glazers. Okay. Number one, in the game itself, I don't even think the Brentford were amazing, if I'm going to be honest. You look at the goals and you be real. The first goal, absolute blunder from David De Gea. You should be saving that. He's come out himself. He knows he made the mistake. He put his hand up. That's 1-0. Mate, after last week, the confidence of the confidence shot on the players of already losing their first game at home, coming in, being behind at Brentford that early on, mate, their heads dropped within a second. The second goal was probably the worst goal for me. Again, as we were saying, Miz was saying about Mendy not being as confident with his feet, mate. I agree with David De Gea. Again, great shot stopper, but for someone who's going to have to start learning to play out from the back with confidence, I think he's got a long way to go. And, Ten Hag did say, I've seen him do it at training. Doing it at training and doing it on a match day worth points away is a big difference. And you can be under 12s, mate, and not know to throw such a, the pass when he gave that ball out to Eriksen, when he had two players pressing him, and the other two players, the defenders had players on themselves, was a hospital pass, a stupid pass. He got pressed, he lost the ball, 2-0 down. Again, another mistake. Third goal, set piece. Okay, it looks pretty bad because we've all been copying stick about how short our new defender is. He was the one that obviously got jumped over, 3-0. Their fourth goal was actually the one that was not bad. But what happened? They scored off an attacking corner from us. It was like a FIFA goal. Literally, we had a corner, counter attack. 2 seconds later, it's in the back of our net. By 30 minutes, it's 4-0. The game is dead. You could see the players, hands on hips, Ronaldo raising his arms, Ten Hag shaking his head. It was just, I couldn't believe my sight. I've been watching United for over 20 years, and I think I said it a few times last year. That was the worst, performances I've seen. This one was
I'm sick of hearing you say it, Rob.
Oh, man,
you keep saying it every couple of weeks.
And the scary thing is, I think we still have a long way to go. I've said it a million times. He's not going to get the magic wand out and turn us from this beautiful possession-based pressing team overnight. These are the same players nearly from last season who had a shocker. But again, I'm going to put a little bit of blame on Ten Hag for just decisions I think he should have made better. At 4-0 at halftime, he made substitutions, 3 substitutions. He bring on McTominay, Varane, and I think it was someone else. Why? This is a perfect opportunity while the game was dead to bring on players like your Garnacho and someone with a little bit of a spark. Bring on Jimmy Gardner, who was one of the best players in the championship last year, one of our promoted players who should be getting a run in the team. Give him a run. No, the thing is with us, we keep rewarding players that have had chances multiple times. And I'm talking about Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Fred, McTominay. These guys continuously get time. This guy's gone out and bought 3 players. Okay, 2 of them started. Why did we buy a backup left back when, Luke Shaw's been at the club for 8 years? Does he deserve a start?
You should be playing Martinez at left back. Like, I don't buy all this crap about his height, Rob. I don't buy all this talk. And people are talking about him.
Why do I have to play him at left back? He's a centre back. He bought him as a centre back because he's 5'9". I don't want to hear any of that crap about he's 5'9". He had a bad game. He got cooked at halftime, which is probably going to be really bad for his confidence. But I'm hoping he's a type of player that can come back after this because he needed to be taken out of the game. But yeah, we bought a left back and a centre back. So what are we going to do? Have 2 backup left backs? He should be playing Malacia from the start. Luke Shaw should be dropped. He had a shocking game against Brighton. That's the perfect opportunity to bring in a new player, especially, against a Brentford. So look, everything went wrong. Yeah, look, the players, everyone's had a shocker. Plus, we've had all the other dramas with Ronaldo. Is he going to stay? Is he not going to stay? The Glazers out, the protests. This is not the way we wanted to start a new season, especially coming off the back of a not bad off season. Because everyone said we've had a great off season. If you look at it, really, it wasn't amazing. No, we didn't. We barely beat Melbourne. We had a draw against Aston Villa after winning 2-0, and then we lost the last 2 games. So, like I said, everyone needs to hold on a bit. It looks shocking, and I'm literally, like I said, I was a bit emotional the other day. I came out on Twitter and I said, I genuinely think we can be in a relegation fight. And look at it from my thing, No, look at it from me. I know it sounds reactionary, but we have Liverpool next at home. Even though they haven't been in the greatest form, you can nearly pencil that in as a loss.
Look at Arsenal last season. We got pummeled out for 3, and look how it turned.
Yeah, but look, the difference is you guys in those first 3 games played City, Chelsea, and Brentford. We've played Brighton at home, Brentford, and Liverpool next at home. There's a difference there as well. And also, we're a team that's in transition. Everyone has to remember that.
Okay, look, let's because I can see you, RJ, you're sitting there smiling because for us, I'm loving watching Man United buckle. I don't apologise for that. I'm sure they would love watching any of our teams buckle as well. I don't have any sympathy for them. They're rivals at the end of the day. RJ, what do you think needs to happen at United? That's the first question. And the second one is, would you take, and I know you've answered this before, but I just want to know if your thoughts have changed. Would you take Ronaldo on a cut price deal at Chelsea?
Yeah, I think. Well, for Ronaldo, I'll answer the second one first. No, I don't think so. I still don't. I know we have finishing problems. I get it, understand that. Don't think he'll take a reserve role. I know that. I think he's too much of a professional. Deserves to be a starter wherever he goes, and good luck to him. So I don't think he'd be satisfied. And as a result of not being satisfied, it wouldn't be good culturally to bring him in to be disappointed. So that's my answer to that. For the first question, look, the boys have said it. Tom has said it. Rob has said it. Ema said it. A lot of these guys have said the same thing about the management. management as in the non-on-field manager, the off-field management. Until you get that right, they did have a good preseason. Like Rob said, it wasn't the best preseason. It was a good preseason. We saw a lot of positivity with the way they had been playing, which gave the general community a sense of optimism that we weren't going to see the same shambolic United. However, and this is the perils of preseason, they can be a little bit of a smokescreen because they don't reflect reality. And as a result, Brighton, good performance, took you to the sword, although you played better in the second half. Brentford, 35 minutes of destruction. It's so early to get too excited down the road there. I understand why you'd be nervous, but let Ten Hag figure out he's going to make the mistakes early on. If this was a repeat pattern for the next 4 to 6 weeks and you're not seeing any change, then you've got a bit of a sample size. But for now, you've just got to back him, like Scott said, with Arteta until you can get a bit of a rhythm. And hopefully you can continue to farm off these deadwood players because they're really hurting you. I know you talked about Luke Shaw, and I know you talked about a few of these other players that have been given multiple chances. But from Ten Hag's point of view, they all start on a clean slate. He hasn't had him for 8 years. He's had him for 5 weeks or whatever it is. So, look, it's one of those things nobody wants to hear as a United fan, but you've just got to let him figure out his process and try to trust him and just iron it out. But, yeah, good luck.
Miz, I know you'd be enjoying this. You and I share very similar views on Manchester United. Just quickly wrap up where you are as an opposition fan. And would you take Ronnie at Chelsea?
Oh, man. I've done videos on Ronaldo. I'll get to Ronaldo. I really want to talk about this Man United thing. I was actually thinking about doing a video on my channel and talk in depth about the Man United situation. As much as I love the banter, as much as I'm enjoying it, it's for me, it's a very interesting topic to talk. They're in serious trouble. They are actually in serious trouble, and I'll tell you why. Scott, you mentioned, we had, you guys had 3 losses. Rob, don't lose. It's not the same though, Scott. You guys, at least, I still remember the games that you guys played. You guys were technically, some of the players that you guys had technically were sound, and they understood to a certain degree what Arteta wanted to do. They just couldn't execute it. And you could see that by time you'll be able to execute. However, in Robbie's case with Man United, there are players that are incapable of playing what Ten Hag wants them to do. David De Gea, honestly, freeze some of the screens when you're watching the game. Pause it and just have a look at his body shape. He's not interested to get the ball. He's literally pleading to his defenders, don't pass me the ball. I'm not comfortable. And his positioning is wrong as well. He's either too close to the player when he needs to be wide so that players can't. There's a reason why Brentford was so good with their pressing. It's because Man United made it easy. None of their players were wide. If you're standing in an angle, it's harder to press from A to B. But if you're standing right next to each other like this, back to back, it's easy to press because you're going to go to A to B in no time. Harry Maguire is another player that is so uncomfortable on the ball, really does not want anything to do with it. He's even hand gesturing to his wingers to drop deep so he can make a small 5-yard pass. He's not confident to make those line-breaking passes. So in regards to Man United, what Ten Hag wants to do, I think I saw Marvo, he's saying that Ten Hag is not all that. Nah, man. Ten Hag is all that. It's just he don't have the ingredients there. He does not have the players to do his stuff. Now, in regards to that, now comes the whole board. Why haven't you given the brother? You brought in a manager and you're not going to give him the kind of players that he needs to play his football and then leave him dry like that. It's not a surprise. I'm not one bit surprised that they're getting beat up by Brentford. They're getting beat up by whoever else it was. Who was it in the first game, first week? Brighton. Brighton's actually a very good game. Like, we struggle against Brighton's ball playing ability, let alone Man United, who's got no idea at the moment how to play with a possession-based style. The board has left this manager to dry, man. You don't bring in a new manager and not give him the kind of players. I think he wanted, 5 or 6 different, his type of players. I think he wanted, from the get-go, he wanted Darwin Nunez. Okay, fine, you didn't get him. Whatever your next selections are, try and get it. I think he still wants Anthony from Ajax. And he wanted a few other players as well. And he just, Frankie de Jong scenario has been going on for months, which is a joke.
Ridiculous
and
saga.
Now, a ridiculous saga. And now you're in a situation with Man United. Players are scared to go to that club. It's too difficult to sell for players to come in. The only way you're going to sell is if you offer them ridiculous money. But that in itself will then go into a bad spiral, because you're going to attract not your first choice, not your second, maybe your third and fourth, and you're paying them a lot of money. So potentially they could flop, and now you're stuck with huge wages as well. So they are in big trouble, big trouble. How they sort it out, I don't know. And that's something Rob can explain. But in regards to Ronaldo, there's a really good article that just dropped a moment ago saying the team was playing better when Ronaldo wasn't around in the preseason. You know, the team was buzzing, this, that, the other. I find that baffling. I really do. Like, how is this guy the issue? How is Ronaldo the issue for this entire team? You let in 4 goals against Brentford because your defense was shambolic, and 2 of them was suicidal goals. How are you blaming that to Ronaldo? And are you going to blame Ronaldo because of the vibes or the toxic nature he brings to the club? I find that this guy he's won everywhere, boys. He's won everywhere he's gone, and now all of a sudden he's a toxic member. It just tells you how much of a really, really pathetic group that the current players are in Man United. There's a lot of players that don't understand Cristiano Ronaldo. Honestly, you dream to play alongside him. Now, in regards to us, I would love Cristiano Ronaldo, man. We're not in the same stage as Man United. Our players, we've won stuff. There's so many people that tell me, Miz, don't want Ronaldo because he's going to come into the team and he's going to disrupt. Everyone's going to be scared. It's Ronaldo. What's there to be scared of? You're Champions League winners. You're Champions League winners as well. Mason Mount, you're a Champions League winner. Reece James, you're a Champions League winner. Do you know what I mean? You guys are boss players. Like, you don't need to be scared. Yeah, he's 5 times Champions League winner. So what? He comes into the team. You've got to earn your place as well. But what Ronaldo gives undoubtedly is goals. Something we can't even buy. Look at the situation in Spurs, the recent one. I can talk about many other games prior to that. Ball falls into the plate for Kai Havertz, boys, and he simply can't tap it in. And it's not just Kai Havertz. Mason Mount missed a couple of them as well. Sterling was inside the box, cut in, and he smacked it for a 6. Sterling's still, one of our best players. But the point is, with Cristiano Ronaldo, you're going to get goal. And this whole talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, he doesn't press, he doesn't do this. Look at the stats. Mate, he's playing for a diabolical Man United team. Give him a team that actually operates properly. Give him a coach that, demands instructions to be followed. You think Cristiano Ronaldo became successful because he was a one-man army? Are you kidding me? He's played under some supreme coaches. You're telling me this guy doesn't want to listen to instructions. You're having a laugh. So for me, look, I know a lot of people don't want Cristiano Ronaldo at Chelsea Football Club, and I absolutely respect that. I've grown up watching Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? Like Man United days, I hated the fact how well he played, but Real Madrid days is when I completely, those were my late teenage to early 20s. I was in love with how this guy was playing in Real Madrid. So, from a commercial point of view as well, my days, how fantastic it would be. What a headline it would be. Ronaldo to Chelsea Football Club. Hey, that's a big statement. So I would love it.
Stir it up. It would stir the league up, but we'll have to wait and see with that one. Look, obviously, we saw Master and Apprentice, Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, both their teams with really good results. There's not much to say about Manchester City because they just do the job. That they get the job done, and they've really seemed to settle in. I thought this was going to be a little bit closer than 4-0. I thought Bournemouth would put up a bit of a fight, but no, City just decimated them with a 4-0 result. And then you saw my boys, the Arsenal, who for me, I cannot remember the last time I've seen an Arsenal team playing this well. I'm absolutely buzzing with our football. 4-2, not the best result. The defense turned off a little bit, a Saliba own goal, but it was the way we reacted.
Leicester were flattered with that scoreline. It should have been 7-8-2. Like, honestly, Leicester were flattered.
We were cooking. Like, we did what we had to do. Martinelli looked dangerous. Jesus has just taken us, for me, to the next level. And everyone knows how fond I was of Aubameyang. And I'm absolutely nervous if he goes to Chelsea that he'll start banging in goals. But Jesus is a perfect fit for our system, our squad, our manager, where he's at. So I'm so happy we've got him because we just looked confident. And I don't see us dropping points in our next couple of games either. I'm feeling good. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan, so I'm going to enjoy the good times while they roll because we know what football's like. I'm happy this week. Rob's miserable. It could really change. You never know with football. Before I get some of the boys' thoughts on either City or Arsenal, happy for you to talk whichever one you want. Please make sure you smash that like button. Want to add a few more on this video considering the high numbers. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you're visiting for the first time, especially if you've come from Miz's channel, the other side of the coin. Miz, I know you love bantering Arsenal, but I've also been, I'll chat to you a little bit on your socials. You've been giving respect and putting some respect on their name lately. And I mean, look, if you didn't, everyone would kind of be wondering what's going on. But just give me your thoughts quickly on one of those games.
I'll talk about Arsenal. I mean, Man City, they're just supreme. They should go and win the league again. I just to clarify, I was giving banter to Arsenal because you guys were poor at that time. And the fact that I give you guys respect now is because you guys are tremendously well. In regards to your game, man, there's so much to like about like the combination play, the quickness, the way you guys move the ball around with such pace, tactical awareness, the fact that Zinchenko drops into midfield creates a sort of like a 3-3-1-3 scenario. You know, Ben White is not really your overlapping right fullback. Like he's more of a 3 at the back, and Zinchenko makes it 3 in midfield, and sometimes he'll overlap to give that extra bit of space on the left side. Martinelli, oh man, this guy is getting to the, you know, he's hitting new levels. The way he tore apart Fofana, a player that we want, he absolutely gave him nightmares, man. And yeah, Odegaard, Saka, everyone's just moving. So, but it's Gabriel Jesus, man. He's everywhere. I was saying it on my watch along. I would be keen to see the heat map of Gabriel Jesus for that match. He was literally in midfield, dropping deep, creating overloads, central overloads, going to the wide areas, creating overloads there, going into like he's like 4-player in one. And this is what I wanted him at Chelsea Football Club because he would have fit in nicely for us. I think many teams wanted him. It's sad so many thought that he was a City reject. I mean, you've got to be having one. Arsenal, for me, I know injuries, Europa League will be interesting when that kicks in, how you manage to play 2 games, maybe 3 games a week. Injuries to key players, that will be an issue because Martinelli is someone I have not seen him finish an entire season without being injured. So I'll be keen to see that. But for me right now, if there's a team that is perhaps right now, if they were to play and give City a challenge, I think it's Arsenal, man. Because Liverpool, I don't know what's going on with them, injuries and whatnot. Spurs are probably in the same level as us, but Arsenal is probably one who could give a head-to-head clash right now. I'm talking about right now. Good game.
Fair shout. Robbie, which one do you want to mention?
No, look, I think you guys wrapped them up pretty quick. I was going to mention the Arsenal game. I take my hat off and I do applaud when teams are performing. And look, you guys have been enjoyable to watch, and it sucks for me. That obviously we're playing the worst football, and I'm watching teams around me playing beautiful football. And you probably never hear me say that again. But again, where you guys were 2-3 years ago, you guys, and that's where I hope we kind of. I don't want to copy you, but Ten Hag has a philosophy, and he needs to stay with his philosophy. He can't just buckle after 2 games, right? He can't say, okay, that's not working 2 games. I'm going to go back to how we were He's got to stick to his guns. It could take a few windows before he starts getting more plays in that are going to help him. But whatever he's got now, he's got to do. And like you said, you guys have 2 years. You've been, last year you nearly made that Champions League spot, but you've really got your players now. Everyone's really bought into his philosophy, and you're starting to reaping the rewards. Again, early days, and as Miz said, injuries, Europa League have got to be thrown into the pot. But at the moment, you guys have got 6 from 6, big goal difference. You're looking good all round, and you have to applaud again, City. I even picked the score last week, 4-0. So there's nothing new with that. The only thing I think everyone was spewing about fantasy-wise is Haaland didn't score. So besides that, it's business as usual for them.
Just a quick shout out. Couple of quick shout out. One, Saliba for Arsenal. I think what a monster defender he's going to turn out to be. Classy as well with the ball. Look at the man with the Saliba jersey.
He's getting very excited over there, isn't he? He's loving this Arsenal prop. I haven't seen the smile like the Joker for years. It's great.
Pretty in pink, mate.
Hey, that's just all Arsenal fans, man. We're getting super excited, man. My brother's an Arsenal fan, and I can give him.
It's like the Vince McMahon meme. Haven't you seen it, Rob? The Vince McMahon one when he's sitting on the chair and he's getting really excited.
Messages. My brother's already calling Champions League football. Said he's been singing that song for 5 years, mate. So let him get excited. I said the more you get excited, the more easy it is to crash and burn like last year.
My younger brother as well. He's back. He wasn't watching EPL for like last couple of seasons. All of a sudden now he's up late watching it. He's texting me saying, "Hey, bruv, you're watching the match. You're watching the match. You better be watching it." But the other shout out that I wanted to say was for Man City. KDB's in a different planet, boys. He's literally in a different planet. The way he's moving now, the way it seems like he can do whatever he wants with that ball. Like, he literally can do whatever the hell he wants to do with that ball. Insane quality.
RJ, go for it, man.
How
City,
good are they?
Arsenal.
Call it, mate. Got to call it, mate. City, we know what we get from City. We all know that. They actually usually start a bit slower, so it's good to see they haven't skipped a beat. They are the benchmark. Miz is right in saying, based on as it stands on the very small, limited sample size of the first 2 games, Arsenal are also in that bracket of a team to watch. There's no doubt about it. You guys are looking the goods. The question, and you ask this yourself every year, Scott, is can they sustain it? Have they learnt anything? Have they got the mentality where they can handle the expectation and pressure? We will get a better picture in 5-10 games, but from so far what you're seeing, you've got to be impressed. Like you said, Miz, those shout-outs were worth it. I still have my reservations because of the years of almost should have, could have, would have, didn't. But you know what, mate? You can only play what's in front of you, and you can only assess the football that they're doing. It's when they come up against proper quality opposition, have they really come over that learning curve? So look, got to be happy if you're a gunner, but it's a watch this space for me.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Look, in a second, I'm going to buy you boys a minute thinking time. We'll almost quick fire this one. Just a moment of the round and a goal of the round as well. I'm going to throw you that in a sec, but I've got to acknowledge it because these guys, God bless them, God bless their little cotton socks. Comments like this from United fans. Wait till you play 2 games a week. I'll put it to you this way. If Arsenal are in trouble when we start playing 2 games a week, God help your club when you start playing 2 games a week, because you know what? United's first team is not even good. Your first team is not even fit for purpose. At least our first team's fit for purpose. Maybe we don't have the best depth, but we've at least got one lineup that's good. let's wait and see. Like the United fans, this is why you get no sympathy, because you're all very lippy at the moment, and you shouldn't be sitting there, bottom of the league, worrying about talking about your superiors right now. If you can overtake us, I'll cop it. I'll cop it like a champion. But for now, just pipe down, United boys. Take your L's. Enjoy where you are right now, because once 2 games start based on that logic, it might get even worse. Boys, I've laid my smack down. I've done it. I've done what I needed to do. They've been poking me all stream. Moment of the round, goal of the round. RJ, go.
Well, it's got a bit of Koulibaly volley for me. Unbelievable. For a defender, from a new signing to another new signing, fantastic. But also shout out to Diaz. What a goal as well. Credit to him. Fantastic goal. And the moment, look, we all loved it, didn't we? The off-field passion, that handshake at the end. That handshake was brilliant, but Tuchel's celebration was ecstatic. So I know I cheated, but joint moment of the week.
Miz.
Yeah, Koulibaly goal. I know Diaz goal was brilliant, but the Koulibaly goal, the technique volley from a defender was insane. I'll change my moment of the week a little bit. I know easy one to pick is the Tuchel one, but Nunez, red card. Joachim Anderson knew what he was doing, and this boy, Uruguayan boy, you better wake up to the Premier League, because these defenders, they are very good at mind games. And the entire game, Anderson just doesn't do this to Nunez. He does it to everyone. Entire game, Anderson was on Nunez's case until he got that reaction, and he made the most out of that. And what is it? 3-game suspension for
I reckon you'll get more.
He might get more.
Yeah, because it was a headbutt, so he could possibly get more.
Because he's a Liverpool player, I think it's double.
Yeah, maybe it's a Liverpool player, it might get reduced.
They'll punish Anderson.
Punish Anderson.
Diving.
And also
that's
the fact
that's advantage Liverpool, mate. But I would have preferred to have him there.
True, he was not good. He gave me Timo Werner vibes this morning. Some first touches, some finishing, lack of finishing. But yeah, for me, that was the moment of the week, the red card.
Robbie.
Yeah, look, again, I had mine written down a couple of days ago, and I did have the Koulibaly goal. I thought, for like I said, a centre back to hit the ball in the volley like that was sublime. My moment of the round was something a little bit different. I just went for something a bit softer. Nottingham Forest, first win in 25 years in the Premier League. I think, it was a scrappy goal, but for them to be returning and, to beat West Ham, I think was, an accomplishment in itself. So, for their fans, I'm sure that was a special moment, and it was just nice to see. So, yeah, Nottingham Forest, first win, first goal back in the Premier League in like 25 years was my moment of the round.
Look, for me to be different, obviously the Conte Tuchel thing was unreal. When Saliba scored that own goal for Arsenal, that was my moment of the round. But the reaction afterwards, I know Lottie was there. She was at the match and she commented on it too, that the whole supporter base got behind him. Every time he got the ball, he was cheered. That sense of togetherness and seeing that positivity from our fans, something that I haven't seen in a long time. So certainly that would be my moment. And look, I can't be unique because there's a clear standout. Koulibaly's goal. When you factor in that he's not Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, that goal was unreal. So he's clear winner for me.
I thought you were going to say Jesus. Jesus's goal.
The chip was nice, but the lob was nice. But
that was something.
The Koulibaly one was unexpected. You can expect a nice finish from a striker, man. So yeah, that's why I went that way.
Look, he banters us plenty, but we will give him his plug because he's a top friend of the show. Talks a lot of crap, but top friend. 9:30 on the Football Capital, they'll be dropping their PL review. So make sure you jump to that as soon as we're finished here. We've done our moments. We've talked about our goals. It's been a longer stream tonight, but that's what happens when you have quality guests like Miz in the house. So Miz, it's been brilliant having you here. Make sure you check out his channel. Make sure you, if you're coming here from Miz's channel, please hit subscribe as well. help us on our journey to 700 subs. I haven't got a quick fire tonight, boys. I don't know if either of you want to do a quick one, but I am conscious of the time, so we'll keep them really quick if so. RJ, you got one?
Most controversial referee moment. Not that I'm salty about anything, but most controversial referee moment you can remember.
I've seen plenty, but I know RJ's got a list. So we'll let
Zidane
him
red
just
card.
say this. That
Zidane
wasn't
Materazzi.
controversial.
For me, it was. Should have left him on.
What was it controversial?
Because
Yeah,
Materazzi deserved it, mate.
Yeah,
Deserved it.
exactly.
Hey,
That wasn't
Tuchel
controversial.
or Conte, separate. That's it.
There's plenty, RJ, man. There's just so many. But
One that stands out.
I can only think about what happened in the weekend, but I don't think that would probably be the standout. There's probably been so many, man. Nothing really sticks out at the moment. But I don't know, for some reason this came up to my mind. Do you guys remember when the Arsenal player that got wrongly red carded?
It was Kieran Gibbs and Alex
Kieran Gibbs.
Yeah, that's right.
For some
Mistaken
reason, I don't
identity.
know why that came into my mind. And he ended up getting a red card, didn't he?
The wrong man got
and it wasn't even him. And it wasn't even him.
Hand of God, you can't get more controversial than that.
Yep.
Would VAR have stopped it? That's what you've really got to sadly ask yourself.
That's it. Did you have another one, RJ?
No, that was it, boys. And for me, the one that stood out for me, and it wasn't as high octane, but just in the whole Chelsea-Tottenham thing, that Lo Celso stomp on Azpilicueta that time, that didn't, and they admitted after the match that was definitely foul, like red card worthy. So, yeah, one for me.
All right, boys, I'll quick fire these
Robbie.
ones. New segment. Have you ever skydived?
No.
Nah.
No, never for me.
Scares me, that kind of stuff.
Shot a gun?
Yes.
Shot a gun.
Yeah, legally.
Yes.
Yes,
I
for
don't
me
think
as
so.
well. No, for Miz. Being caught speeding?
No.
17.
Yep.
1,500
football
fine.
field.
I still remember.
Touch wood, for me being a lunatic revhead, I've never been done, thank God. Scored a winner in a football game.
Yes.
Oh, lunchtime football, does that count?
Yes, mate. Absolutely it does.
It's a
Happened to
100%.
me in my work.
Yeah.
Top of the table
100%.
clash, and I scored a last-minute winner.
And last one, boys. Re-gifted something that's been gifted
Of course,
to you.
man.
Yeah.
Now, look, for
Without a
Italians, we do this every Easter, mate. We get this big thing, we call it panettone. And after that many, you get that many of them, you have about 30. So you just start re-gifting them again. As long as you scratch off the year, you're sweet.
Classic.
All right, boys. It has been an absolute delight having Miz here again. Check him out on the other side of the coin. His socials are down below. There's a stream basically every 4 hours on his channel. He's a madman. The way he works and grinds, that's why he's got so many subs. So make sure you check him out. We will be back on Thursday evening. We've got a Liverpool and Manchester United match to look ahead to in a very, very
relegation
juicy
battle.
round.
Relegation battle.
Wow.
Mate.
Robbie,
we'll
are you
be-
scared? You are about to get the pumping of your lifetime.
Wait, they've had 2 draws, mate, and they deserve to
Yeah.
lose both games. So we can't just
Yeah,
call
sure.
a
They
spade
should-
as we call a spade, mate.
They should have won against Crystal Palace. They really should. But anyway.
We'll wait and see. But we are back on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. In the comments below, let us know your moment or goal of the round or both. And we will see you back on Thursday. Don't forget, when this is done, jump over to the Football Capital. Check out that show that's dropped as well. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your football. Stay safe.
Sure.